Hello, Haskell curious people. Time for another evening of live coding some Haskell. I always get sidetracked when I'm doing this. I'll have a plan to implement something and then I don't know how to do it, and I'll spend the whole episode just going down the rabbit hole trying to work out how to actually write some Haskell. Last week I planned on adding limits, well, not limits basically, but stopping people from withdrawing from their account if it would take them overdrawn. And I didn't get very far in that because I added a quick endpoint just to list the accounts, and then I thought I should really handle errors properly, and that took the whole episode. Today I was going to go back and look at this idea of adding an endpoint for depositing and withdrawing money from an account, and then adding this check to say you can't withdraw if you don't have the funds. But I kind of have an inkling of where I'm going to get sidetracked today, because to do that, I want to have new endpoints for depositing and withdrawing, and then I'm thinking to check it works, I'm probably going to write a test for that, which is going to be a test using servant, which I think will probably take me the whole episode. But we'll see how it goes. It never goes the way I think it's going to go. Okay, so last week I added handle list accounts, and most of it is to do with this. I just spent a lot of time, instead of returning either this account or some error, I now check the error and I throw this is a 500, but at the same time I also fixed this for getting the accounts, where we throw a 500 on some errors and a 404 if the account itself is missing. Took me ages to get that working, but now I have that endpoint, so I'm thinking I can add a couple more. So we have list and get, and then I kind of want, probably put it in the definition of the account first, the API first. I'm going to deposit, and what this is going to do is we will capture the account ID, the UID, and we will also capture an amount, which is going to be an int. It should really be a positive int, but let's go for an int at the minute. And this will be a post request. Yeah, it should be a post request because you're depositing money. It's going to return JSON, and it's going to return, let's return the account with ledger. So we'll reload the account and give it back to you when you deposit stuff. And we'll also add a withdraw, which is going to be similar. We will capture, actually copy and paste. So draw looks exactly the same. It'll have slightly different behavior. Okay, so why is this stuck? Don't know why that's stuck. Should be upset because this doesn't implement it anymore. Just opened this and already the LSP is broken. If I ever become a millionaire, I shall give a lot of money to people to fix the Haskell tooling. But I'm not going to become a millionaire, so it's fine. Handle deposit account. And I'll also want a withdraw is handle. It's not deposit account, it's handle account deposit, and handle account withdrawal. Withdraw. Oh, how do you spell that? Don't know how you spell it. Now that the LSP is back, it's telling me I need to import this. Okay. and these don't exist yet, so I need to create them. Let's start with this one. Okay, so it's going to be some effects, and then this. And the effects I need are probably going to be the logger. Oops. F. I must see if I can alias a symbol, because the fact this clashes with servant is really annoying. I need a logger. I probably need an account store. Let's go with that for a moment. Okay, then we're going to take a UID and an int, which is the amount, and we return the amount account with ledger. Okay. So we got UID and we have amount. Log it first. That's a logger.info. Depositing and we will show the amount in an account, then the UID. Okay. Then we will look up the account. Oh, that's listing it, so we need to find the account. So this should find the account for me and also handle some errors. Okay, and from here, okay, let's go to back. Anywhere else? Have I written T-show yet? I have not. It's T pack of show amount. And this will be the same thing. That's T dot pack of show of amount. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, hang on. Try that. Okay. Now what's wrong here? Can it match string to text with actual type text because pack is applied to too many arguments? What have I imported? Pack string to text, and I've called it with a string. I don't know why it's upset here. I just want to show something. I'll come back to the minute. That's not the interesting thing for today. Depositing money. Okay, so we get the account back, and then when we have the account, we want to deposit. So we should be able to say something like account store dot deposit Actually, there's no point in loading the account. It's a bit unnecessary. I will load it at this point, but deposit can then take the UID and the amount, and you can just go and do an update, do a create. I don't think I even need to check the account exists because it's a foreign key in the database, so I should get an error back if it does not exist. Okay, so account store. where are we here? So we've got get account and list accounts, and we're going to have deposit. And that's going to take a UID and an int and run under account store m of either error, I think. Yeah, it's going to be that. Or it's going to be unit. Let's not give anything back at this point. And also withdraw, which is the same thing. Okay, right, so does get account list accounts. There was a helper for this. Yeah, so this is effectful th, not that window. Don't go there. Go to this window. I quick look for effectful. One of them is effectful th. Version is 1003. Where are we now? Library. Oh, I am already depending on it. Okay, cool. So it was make effect. I want an example of this. Make effect E. So my data E is actually account store. This all looks the same. Good. So I should be able to say make effect account store, and I think I get rid of all of this stuff. Let's find out. Don't expand it in place. What's the problem with this? I've done something wrong here. Let me just see. Like it's not on scope, is it? So they want those. Import effectful th qualified as, actually that's not qualified at all. Import it. So now when I say make effect, I get the same error. Okay, this might be the rabbit hole for tonight. There should be somewhere, there's an example. Make effect. It also generated automatically, but doesn't show me an example of that. So I've imported effectful th. Let's import make effect explicitly. Can you say that? Am I missing a language extension, I wonder? Not sure that I'm, but no. Okay, I don't know why make effect is not working for me. It just looks like it should work. I don't know what is not including that's breaking it. Let's look for make effect. Across all of GitHub. Now, can we go more languages? Haskell. There are a few of these. Let's look at a random one. Nothing obviously different. There's no language extension there that I can see that would affect this. I didn't mean to click into that bit. I meant to click into here. Language template Haskell. Is that going to make a difference? Okay. I thought that would be enabled by default, but perhaps not. Or maybe I'd already done it. I thought, oh, okay, that was the issue. Okay. Not in scope error. Does it matter if I move error above? Cool. Define but not use deposit. So we got deposit and we got withdraw. We've ordered imports. Okay. Cool, I think. So we've got deposit. And withdraw. Okay, so the two arguments. So it's got the UID and it's got an amount. Same thing here. UID and amount. Amount. Okay. Might just make withdraw deposit, but a negative amount. Yeah, let's do that. So we get rid of withdraw. Withdraw. Okay, so we need to define this. So here we can say do we want to do that? No, we're not going to load the account. Let's just say something like lift.io account DB dot deposit UID and amount. Now, depositing is really writing a ledger entry. So what this is really going to be is ledger store.create. I think let's go and look at ledger store. Create ledger entry. So it'll be ledger store, create ledger entry. And so create ledger entry needs a ledger entry which has got this information. Okay. So I can say something like ledger ID is v4.next random. And to lift that as well. Okay, so we have our ledger ID, and then we should be able to say, don't want the account to be a deposit. We want, where it is for? So it's ledger store dot create ledger entry, the function, and that wants a ledger entry, I think. Yeah, not like that. So it's going to be let le equal ledger entry, import that from somewhere. I wish it would give me the structure of this, like a skeleton of the fields to fill in. So it's got a UUID, which is going to be ledger ID. Doesn't have a field called that. Got a field called ID. That's going to be annoying. It's got an amount, which is going to be the amount that was passed in. From int equal. It's got, what else do we have? With date time. Okay. That's going to be now, and that. So now is get local time for that. I have it in a test somewhere. So here when I say deposit, it's that, get current time. Okay, and the account ID is equal to the UID it's passed in. It's not called account ID, what's it called? Account underscore ID. That's horrible. That's called account ID. Okay. If I just change this type to be int64, then I could call this thing ID, which is a little bit horrible. But I could pull these things out. So instead of calling this now, I could call this date time. I could call this account ID, and then I could say that. Okay, so we have a type error on the amount. So I should be able to fix that by saying it takes an int 64. Okay, so the ID name clash is unfortunate, but I could probably fix that by just renaming it. And then I can call this UID. There we go. Okay. So now when we call create ledger entry, we get either an error or the units back, so nothing happened. So here, a couple of things that should be under IO. So here I can say let LE equal that. Pure of that. Okay. So now error is our problematic thing. So if it's left of create ledger error, I want to turn it into an account store error. That's what I want to do. So here, it's map result. Okay. Yeah, it does the left mapping thing, doesn't it? Can I say map result? We get that. Take it into a variable. So result is that, and then I can say map result. And it should be just show, I think. So if I have an error, I'm just going to show left-hand side. No, I need to turn it into I'm going to assume it's a session error. It might not be. Because I think session error is part of my error constructor. Yeah, it is just a wrapper around session error at the minute. It's not quite well in that way, but it's fine. Okay, so we can say, put the top. So either show the left-hand side to turn it into an account store error or ID. It could be ID from account. Oh, this is getting really annoying. Don't call things ID. Okay, and I'm going to run that on the results that we got back. And it's going to be pure of that. Okay, not quite. Okay, this is where I want to not lift IO, or do I? Hang on a minute. So the type of LE is any ledger entry. What does that mean? Type of LE at this point is ledger entry in some monad. I don't know what the monad is. I'm guessing it's IO, but maybe it's not. No. Okay, let me do this. Okay, so it's not going to return it in some monad. It's going to return it just a value. So this should now be ledger entry that it is. That's cool. Okay. Right, so in theory, we can deposit here. We can call deposit and it should create a ledger entry. Probably going to need to care a little bit more about the errors to come back from that. Okay, so we go back to the API. We have a problem with the type here as well. So let's get rid of that import. Where's the API itself? Okay, here. Let me just kill withdraw for a second. Just do deposit and I can go back to it. So int 64, need to import. Get rid of that for a second. Type of this is now wrong. Int 64. Okay, and then this is going to give us back something which might be an error. And then what do we do with it? Let me write it out in a long form and then I can see if I can shorten it a bit. I'm just worried about the nested cases here. So case result of, then we can say if it's left on some error, then we need to do something with it. And if it's right of unit, then we do this stuff. Oops. Right of unit, then we do this stuff. Okay. Can deduce that because I haven't put it up here. Let me know so we have that effect. Okay, cool. And now we have an error. What are we going to do? I'm just going to throw it. Throw error. Error 500. And then the error body is going to be lazy byte stream character pack and then show error. Okay, so in theory I can post to deposit some money and I'm either going to get some random error or I should get the account information back. Where are my errors? Okay, this is from the rename not going cleanly. Let's do LSP there. Then when it comes back, see if it will find the last error for me. No, it's saying it failed to run Cabal. Cabal build. Let's see what's upset about. LED account ID. This rename didn't really work. Or did it work in not save stuff? Let's find out. No, it didn't work. Okay. So that's a UUID. That's a UUID. That's a UID. That's account ID. And back to here. Build it again. Accounts is the last one. Save the file. Try it again. Okay, now it did build. So here, if I now restart the LSP, hopefully be okay. While it's going away, we can just say file run and open that in the browser. There we go. So we've got a list of accounts. I'm just going to grab a random account ID. Came in to clean this out, but I'll do that at some point. But for now, I want a load of accounts so I can play with them. Okay, that's got one thing in it, which is an amount of 187. Curl. So I'm going to post to there. Let me post an amount of 500. We got that date time. Ooh, I shouldn't need to. Well, I was just going to post to this URL, wasn't I? I'm not going to give it an ID. I'm not going to set application type. I'm not going to pass any data. I'm just going to post. Super dodgy, but just post an amount here. So that deposits 500. Don't need any headers. Okay. Seems dodgy. Do that. No, it did not deposit it there. Method not allowed. Okay, cool. So now I can say -80 post. That's what I pretty much do. Is it -8 set a header? I think. Man, Carl. Just give me the example of a post. Don't want to give it data. Don't want to give it data, I just want to tell it it's a post. It's very clever, it works out that you want to post a lot of the time, but I just want to do it. What method to use? I could give it some empty data. Would that work? I do want the V's, I think. Let me just say minus data. That turn it to post. Okay, it's not expected. 80, up that, this. Okay, so it can't connect to localhost port 8080, but when I tried before, it got an error back. So confused by this. I just want to send some data. It shouldn't be hard. Oh, file descriptors are out of range for select. What? I need to look at that then. Recompile with threaded to work around this. Okay, here we go. It really did give me an answer back this time. So if I go here and reload, there we go. It's got an amount of 500. Cool. And that's still running for some reason. I don't know what happened before. Okay, so I've deposited some money. I guess that's cool. And now I want to withdraw money. Don't print that. Here in the API, I can now add withdrawal. What's it say about now? It's renamed. Helper didn't actually rename it. It renamed it in place, but it didn't rename the symbol. So this is the account ID. One more. Or no. Nope, no more. Okay, cool. Okay, back in the API. Let's do withdraw. I'll do the same thing. And then we can say withdraw is handle account deposit. But withdraw takes 2 arguments, so it takes a UID and an amount. And we'll say this. Oh. It takes a UID and an amount. And we're going to say minus amount. Okay, so withdrawal should be the same thing, but we just flip it. Let's check that works. Interestingly, the balance is wrong here. Okay, so we have a bit of a problem, but how do we specify withdrawal? Okay, that's annoying. Okay, I'm missing something, so the URL should actually be account deposit amount and account withdraw amount. Otherwise, the URLs are identical. So this is account deposit, and then this is going to be account withdraw. Is that one? Yep. Okay, and then we go back to here, and then we should say, let's deposit another £500. Let's deposit £200, 200 things. 404 not found because I put deposit in the wrong place. Probably drop one of these V's out. Okay, so we've now deposited some money. Still no balance update, that's not good. Withdraw. And we'll withdraw 100. And there we go, we have a minus 100 in here. Okay, still nothing updating the balance. So in the balance spec, how did we do this? We had a helper called withdraw. So we create a debit and we call deposit. CountDB.deposit. Oh, I didn't realize the CountDB already had deposit. Okay, so this takes the connection, the amount, the ledger entry, the account and ledger entry. And what's it need from the account? So our deposit statement only needs the UID from the account. So I'm thinking, can I change this to only take the UID so that we don't need to load the account to do the update? So I'm going to change this to be a UID, and this will become account ID, and this will become account ID, and this will become a UID. And this will be account ID, account ID. Okay, and then my test should be very broken. Oops. Dot UID, and then down here, dot UID. Okay, my tests are no longer broken. So now I can use this deposit, I believe, instead of this thing that I actually wrote. So in the account store, when we have deposit, I still want all of this to build the ledger entry, but now I don't want this. I want to say, well, actually, we're talking directly to the account DB, so we're still in IO. Right, okay, so now we can say the ledger entry is that, and the result is accountdb.deposit. And it needs the connection. Need to work out where that comes from. And then it takes the UID, which is the account ID here, and the amount. And the type of this will be wrong, won't it? Yes. So here we could say result is not. This is going to be let this equal that. And we need the LE in this, not the amount. Okay, that might be a bit better. Okay. I can write something called map error. Or like convert error. So we can say convert error applied to that. And then that's what we return, I think. So convert error It's not quite that, so it's either something which is showable, or some kind of B. Either, whoops, error or B. So we can say convert error, left error is whatever that thing was I was doing before. So it's something like session error. I don't need to bracket that. Session error of show of error, and then convert error right of x is equal to pure x. And that's left of that. Okay, move brackets, avoid that. Okay, do it then. Okay. So in theory, now if I recompile this and run it again and deposit something, it should update the balance this time. But I might go and find a different account. Luckily, I have a whole bunch. I'm just sitting here. So grab a run test account. So it'll be whatever state the test left it in. Okay, nothing in the ledger, no balance. That's quite good actually. So here I can say deposit 500, and then we'll withdraw 100. The balance is 400. Good. Okay, that means that I have some code. I'll just reload that, make sure it looks right. Yep. I have some code I don't need anymore. Or maybe I don't actually. No, because the deposit is still in the account store. It just wraps the underlying deposit. All it did before was call existing stuff in ledger entry. Okay. Okay, so I can deposit stuff. I might quickly be able to do a check on withdraw. So let me just do this. I can say handle withdrawal, handle account withdrawal. Okay. So we'll need some stuff again. That's going to be the same, I'm guessing. A couple of things then. So is the account ID and the amount. I want to do a check and say if I want to get the account back, I think. So we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to load the account. If we don't get the account, we get 404. If when we get the account back, we're going to check the balance. Oh, that's really dodgy actually, because if I load the account from the database, check the balance, make sure you wouldn't go overdrawn, then deposit it. It could have changed in the interim. So we could check and say, I want to withdraw $100. I have $500. That's fine. You do the check. Another process withdraws $500. You've done your checks and you do the withdrawal of 100 and it goes to a negative number. So actually, I don't want this at all. I want to do it at the database level. So let's get rid of that. And actually, I'll put it back in. So what do we have here? We had account ID and amount, and that was just handle account deposit, account ID and minus amount. Okay, it's going to be in the actual deposit, I think. What a weird place to jump to. That's very unhelpful. Okay. And it's probably going to be account db.deposit. So what I want to do in the deposit statement is say outdated account, so balance be that, where ID is that. And what's the syntax for this? It looks SQL-ish. Can you say and? Balance plus $1, which is a big int, is greater than 0. Also a big int. Looks weird to me, but anyway, give it a go. So we're going to say when we've added the amount we're depositing, which could be negative, to the balance, it should remain greater than 0. Does that just work? So we left at 400. Let's withdraw 500. It does not work. Oh, I didn't compile it. I didn't restart. Let me deposit. Yeah, another 500. Okay, back to where we were. Okay, I restarted it this time, so hopefully now when I try and withdraw 500, that doesn't look right. So it hasn't updated the balance, but it has deposited the money. So what actually happened here? So this is resultless. Okay, so what I want to do is make sure that it actually did deposit something, because I'm guessing this said update 0 rows. What I actually want to do is make sure it updates 1 row. So it's got rows affected statement, which means this is going to return int 64, which means that doesn't mean that this also returns an int 64. This Haskell looks terrible. I think that's maybe a reflection of my coding, not on Haskell. No, we can't do that either. Okay, so this is a statement. It takes this statement, okay, and returns a transaction of type B. Don't I make it stop? Like I want to manually begin and end now. Okay, do you know what? It's just gone 10 o'clock. I'm gonna stop at this point and come back to this next week. Because what I really want to do is learn a bit more about template Haskell, but I want to say, I want to kind of issue a begin. I want to run a statement. I want to check the result of it. Depending on that, I may want to run another statement, or I might want to roll back. So rather than just building up this monode of transactions, I really want a more sequential, gets imperative style, run the first statement, check it's updated something. If it hasn't updated something, return an error. Or not even return an error, but just roll back. Yeah, but I'll leave it until next week because I'm out of time for now. So thanks for watching along. Nearly got it there, but not quite. I got to the point where I can deposit money, but it's lets you go overdrawn, which is the whole point I was trying to achieve. Next week, I'll work out how to write better transactions with Haskell. Cool. Thanks for watching along. Hope to see you next week. Next week is times are a bit funny because in the UK, clocks go back on Sunday, and on the East Coast, I think most of America, they wait for another week before the time zone changes. So 9 p.m. It'll still be 9 p.m. UK time, but that will be an hour later, I think, in Canada and the East Coast in general. Cool. But yeah, if times line up, hopefully see you next week. And thanks for watching along. Goodbye.